And I read a book a couple of years ago about the NBC correspondent that had a head injury. And I'm reading this thinking, oh, this will help me with Sam. Well, that one helped me more with my dad. I'm reading this one by Jennifer Mosher, and she's explaining from her perspective what it was like going out in public and loud noises and everything. And I'm finding how much more I'm able to relate to Sam now and go, oh, so that's what it's like. And it is. She said, you go out in public and there's just too much of everything. Like she said, even the smell, like in the mall, would just drive her nuts. The noise, the fact that people are sweaty and heat and cold and just everything. And
a lot of things change.
It does. And I mean, I know what I get like when you're in the mall and you're hot and you're cranky and you don't want to, but.
Yeah, that's because there's no bargains for you.
Yeah.
I know. But
I try.
Having said that, no, I don't. But I really appreciate and understand where you're coming from. And that's so true that if you think that the victim is going through a lot of trauma, think about the caregiver too.
Yeah.
Because the ride is not, it's not as smooth and it's as roller coaster as the poor trauma victim too. And
that's what I'm trying to get is like, we have it, I have my days where I just, where I want to get in the car and just drive.
Yeah.
But I think of other people who, my heart goes out to them. I read blogs of moms whose kids, you know, like you said, were hit in the head with a baseball, playing softball with a helmet on, are now laying, and they're 2 years sitting in a hospital still waiting for some kind of movement or whatever. And I think, how do you cope? Because that's the first thing everybody says to me is, how do you cope? I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly,
stop to think
I don't
about
know.
it.
Yeah, I get through with a lot of humor, a lot of prayer. Something that was advice given to me one day was to go pick up rocks and throw them against the barn. Well, that was great because we used to have a wooden barn. Now we have a metal barn. Not so not
Sounds
so acceptable.
Kind of deafening, isn't it? Yeah.
But
and no windows on that side?
No.
Yeah. That's good for you then.
But but as a caregiver, for me at least, mine are. My dad is looked after at the lodge, and mine are so.
Part of your concerns taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, there still are no casserole brigades that show up when we're having a rough day at home where I've got, you know, and then you add in the fact that not only does he have brain injury, but he's 15. So of course he knows it all already.
Yeah.
And
that'll change.
Luckily tomorrow he'll forget that he knows it all.
Yeah, that'll change.
But what do you do? Like we sit in an anesthetic dentist, you know, there are days where I just don't want to cook supper because it's been such a hard day, or, you know, I'm in Winnipeg with Sam and we're running from 8 different appointments and there's nobody making a meal for my family at home. Yep. So I'm trying to plan meals ahead of time, or I'm trying to make sure that everybody is this, and this is all done so that when they walk in, they don't have to worry about it. And I just think, like I said, my family is that much, I don't want to say better, but like medically doing better than other families. So where are those, like where is their help coming from? And that's what I want to get more awareness out.
I'll just compliment the scenario here by saying, that's where you have to you talked about in one of your blogs about the king, and that is religiously compatible to you, so you're deriving your strength from where it should be derived from. Also from the other members of your family who recognize your ability to be able to complement them. And you got to take some me time too, you know that. And you'll put it in perspective. You're doing fine with it.
Yep.
If we could just take the last part of this particular show, I would just want to talk about your blog. You do a blog quite regularly. I went in and had a look at it when you gave me the setup. To the people who have a computer at home, if you go in and you just hit Visible Angels, it'll come up and you just key on it, and you won't have any trouble hearing what Jodie has to say all about Canadians with traumatic brain injury, and what she knows and what she's gained through her time and her life with the people within her own family. Because you have subjects right at the end of your fingertips. It couldn't be a better learning experience for you.
It's kind of like those rats in the maze. They're my experiment. I'm going to see what I can get them to do with brain injuries. But no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
It started out actually for Sam, because like I said, we were told that this was all going to be him. So we wanted somewhere so that he could see how far he came. And then as we kind of went on with it more, it kind of morphed more into somewhere for me to rant and rave. And because we live out here and there isn't a whole lot of support. So this is where I did
Certainly.
a lot of it.
But you're connected to the world this way.
I am, yeah. I've got a lot of friends all
Yeah.
over the world that.
Well, you have
will
something
read
in
it.
common.
Yeah, and they'll say like, "Oh, we'll try this," or they'll email me. And
Yeah. And you touched on a sentence right there that's very relative. Try this.
Yeah.
You know what? That's no different than what would be happening in India and Jamaica as to what's happening right here
Yep.
in good old Canada and
Yeah.
right in your hometown, Riding Mountain.
Yep.
But I just want to take it from the serious side to the more lighter side now. I kind of got a kick out of. I'm not going to tell everybody your business because they can go on and look at it. I'm not going to recite it over TV. But I love your starting by saying I'm keeping my cool. This must have been one of those days, and I look up and I say, oh, that was probably a week ago. And then I say, wait a minute, Tuesday, May 31st. I'm interviewing this girl today, and I see keeping my cool. So I can appreciate where you're coming from, because you've said it throughout this whole show that there are moments in time.
Yeah.
And that's why I said to you, you have to pick your moment,
Yeah.
and you have to pick your time.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, from my perspective, and having you here today as a guest, this has been very educational to me. I know we've got the message out there. I know people understand or have a better understanding, and there's more to it.
Yeah.
I always say to my guests, there's probably some things that I've overlooked, but we're restricted by time. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we say goodbye? The Awareness Month.
Brain Injury Awareness Month. Yes, that's huge. That's been like huge on my mind the last
I
month. It's
know.
been driving my entire family crazy.
And I had to bring it up. It's nothing wrong with your brain, trust me. You're encompassed. This is what I mean about you're so encompassed and you're so involved and you're so engrossed that sometimes, water goes over your shoulder and you don't even know it's there.
Water. Actually, I told my girlfriend this morning.
See?
I said, I think I'm waterlogged. My brain is waterlogged.
Touching all the right
this
nerves,
brain, Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Awareness Month.
For Manitoba, their brain injury is on their website is under the brain injury sites to visit, and it's called the MBIA, Manitoba Brain Injury Association.
Yeah.
We're going to go visit them tomorrow, and they were looking at trying to get ribbons started. And because next month is next month, June, is Brain Injury Awareness Month, I am making these little oak leaves. Manitoba's, the MBIA on their website is a picture of an oak sapling with the leaf coming out of it. For me, it was very relevant because Sam also fell under the oak division of brain trauma at the hospital, and I just thought that was so cool. The MBIA is only, well, I'll mention this now, is only geared really for 18 and older. There really isn't much support in Manitoba for younger. So I was making these, and I'm going to bring them out, and I'm going to be having them in stores in town just
Right.
to pass it around, because I always think of that commercial. That's been my goal this last month as I'm getting this together is, I think it was Pert, the shampoo commercial. She told 3 friends, and
Yes.
they told 3 friends, and they told 3 friends. That's what I want. I
Before
want to
you knew
get
it.
more awareness out.
Yeah.
I created that Facebook page, Canadians with Traumatic Brain Injuries. So anybody who's on Facebook, if you just put that in the search engine, it'll come up, and you can ask. It's the way they've changed the sites, I'm not impressed with, but you can ask to join, and I just post like everything, different points of interest on brain injury. My goal was this week is I have a green ribbon on my picture on Facebook. Let's see how many people we can get to take this and post this as their picture for a day, or you know what, here's some information. 3 times as many deaths from brain injury as AIDS in the US in a year. 92% of men in Ontario who require brain injury, and 100% of women will never return to full-time employment. I don't want to say useless information, because
Yeah.
it's not. It's
No.
very useful, but it's just that interesting little tidbit where people would go, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. There's more incidences of, the annual incidence of brain injury is greater than multiple sclerosis, spinal cord injuries, HIV, AIDS, and breast cancer combined. Like, so if it's that big, how come it's not out there? How come we don't have commercials? How come we don't have, I was going to say bumper stickers, but I just found a bumper sticker
Yeah.
today about it. But that's kind of my goal, is to get 3 people to tell 3 people to tell 3 people.
Sure. But that's how it gets done.
That's what I'm working
So
on.
you're working on you're walking the right path.
I'm starting in Nipawa, and I'll, what do they say? Act locally, think globally.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I think
Work very hard.
I think you're working and walking in the right direction.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt, especially when you go in and read about it, and especially when you sit and communicate about it. Listen, thanks very much. I know
Thank
you're
you.
a busy lady because of what's taking place amongst the family members.
Yep.
And I appreciate you giving me some of your time.
Oh, no problem.
I think it's been very forthright. It's been, to me, and trusting the viewers, very educational. And there's a way that they can catch you, and we've told them.
Yep.
So good luck in the future, and all the best to the family.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Stay with me for 1 minute.
Yep.
Well, I want to say thank you to Jodie Ginter for taking some time out for her busy schedule to come on in and make us aware of what we were referring to at the start of the show as the brain injuries, and you've been enlightened and enlarged about how it can happen and the trauma that can take place and the symptoms. You want to get involved, get on her site under Visible Angels, click on it and respond to the blogs, and or when the oak leaves start coming out, pick one up, wear it, and or get yourself involved and start telling, as Jodie says, tell 3 people about it and ask them, you may know people who are totally unaware through lack of education. Here's the opportunity for you to lend a hand and to help out. Again, thanks to Jodie Ginter, and thanks to her family for being our subjects here today. God bless them. I wish them well. My name is Jim Cockburn. I want to leave you with one thought in mind, that if you can't put a song in your heart, please put a smile on your face. Have a great day. Bye now.